Hello and welcome. Today we are in the tier 10 Swedish destroyer, the Halland. We're playing on the map Northern Waters, and unfortunately this is an aircraft carrier match, which automatically means that the match is going to be terrible, because CVs ruin all the matches you're in, if you're not the CV yourself, that is. It is fully tier 10. There are some radar ships, like a Des Moines, a Nevsky. Unfortunately though, most of the enemy ships are battleships, or well, the largest chunk of them, which means that this is going to be an incredibly passive game, which makes the CV situation even worse. And my only hope is that the CV simply focuses on ships that aren't me, because there's nothing you can do against the CV. Even a ship with very good anti-air is still massively impacted by the fact that the CV exists. But since the CV so far is probably gonna focus on that Shimakaze that's in the cap with the Minotaur, maybe we can do something. So the ships I have to watch out for are the Nevsky, sometimes the Des Moines, but I'll know when I'm near the radar, and the destroyers, a Daring and a Gearing. I don't really wish to gunfight either of those, but I somewhat can. I'm trying to get close to use my amazing torpedoes though. You see, Halland has 15-kilometer torpedoes that go up to 95 knots. They only deal 10,700 damage, so we're talking less than half of what a Shimakaze torpedo does, but they do reload in 77 seconds. So, this means that you can launch a lot of torpedoes. Are you kidding me? Why is he radaring already? Nevsky, no! Bad Nevsky. Bad Nevsky. I can't torp the Thunderer from here, because the island is in the way, and because she already took such a massive salvo, she's probably already turning away anyway. Maybe I should torp the Nevsky myself, though. I can't. Island is in the way. There is a DD over there. Let's see. Oh, you don't see a smokescreen on that map, because of course you don't. You know what, let's try our luck on the Montana. Maybe we'll get lucky. And if we do, we can do a follow-up and hopefully get some floodings. We probably shouldn't have launched the tarps at the same time. My plan is to try to... I'd like to see flank the enemy, but I probably can't, because they're too close to the edge of the map. But this means I'll go closer to the edge of the map, and I'll keep spotting them and hopefully successfully torpedoing them. And if we get some kind of an advantage from this, then hopefully we can take advantage of it and actually win. Because right now the enemy is ahead by 30 points only though. Okay, are we gonna hit torps? We are gonna hit torps. Only one though. It's gonna be the bow though, so flooding chance is high. Yep, there it is. This means the Montana is going to use her damage control party. Also, I'm keeping the Thunderer spotted. Maybe the Thunderer could fall back into concealment if I wasn't here, but because I am here, well, there's nothing she can do about that. The Montana is reversing away, which makes sense, because you really don't expect to be torpedoed from the side. This time I'm gonna wait for my second set of torps. A little bit, you know, at least 20 seconds. Otherwise, you never know. Maybe we get the flooding again, and then we get another flooding. That would be perfect. I'm taking a huge risk here, though, because if the enemy CV came along, I would be spotted, and there's nothing I could do at that point. Yeah, maybe I should reverse a little bit here, because the Nevsky is heading general in this direction, and being radared by her would be quite deadly for me. Oh, we got another flooding. But I think this set of tarps is gonna miss. The angle doesn't seem quite right. Maybe one will hit. We'll have to see. Maybe we can get more. Oh, never mind, the Nevsky might be sailing away. I guess we'll eventually find out. Right now the angle though is that I can't go forward without being spotted. Oh, hey! Oh, wow! Engine broken and floodings, both floodings by the way, so at the front and the back, which means the flooding does more damage, and she's on fire. I think that Montana actually is gonna go down here. Which is great, because it means that... Oh, she just used damage control party. Damn it, I guess. That's not good. But maybe we can get a follow-up with our Torps. I'm gonna turn around and start repositioning, because chances are this Montana won't be much of a target for too long anymore. The question is whether the Nevsky has radared any time recently. And she could have. She very much could have. I'm still gonna launch Torps in this direction, because the Montana is clearly healing. And they might have the opportunity to strike the Nevsky or the Thunderer from behind at another time, right? No flooding this time, I think. Oh! Oh wow, we got lucky. We got another flooding. Damn, that is truly lucky. But Montana, yeah, Montana is gonna go down here. There's no chance she survives this anymore. Goodbye, Montana. She might not even spot these Torps. Which could be a surprise to the Thunderer, but probably isn't gonna be. I mean, it's a surprise, but they won't hit. Points-wise, we're still doing alright. Sadly, we've lost one of our own battleships. Who have we lost? Oh, a Thunderer. Yeah, that's not great. Oh, Yoshino is heading closer, actually. I should absolutely try to torp the Yoshino. Yoshino is probably going to stay somewhat angled here. Because there's Stalingrad and Yamato straight behind me in a line, right? What's the chance that she won't be? I don't want to launch these Torps yet. Yoshino is gonna do some maneuvers based on these torpedoes, I think. And therefore it might be better not to use... Oh no! I'm spotted by the Nevsky radar. I need to turn away. Let's use speed boost again. We get further. Oh, we did actually strike the Yoshino. Good. Nevsky, please. Okay, Nevsky radar is off. She did actually sail closer. Not the greatest for me, but alright overall. The gearing has gone down for the enemy, so I don't have to worry about an extra destroyer. Right now would be a good time to strike the Nevsky, but sadly I don't think we're gonna get much of an opportunity for that. I think the Yamato or the Stalingrad will have to do that instead. But we'll still try though. I guess I can go close for now. Ideally, I'd like to go more towards the middle, or I guess further south. Either of them is fine. As long as I keep spotting enemy ships and actually get to torp some of them. "15 kilometers is a lot of range, but it's not, you know, incredible range on the torps. At least not with the way the meta is going these days. It's enough to avoid radar stuff, but... Oh, am I gonna hit on the net? Yeah, we're gonna hit the Nevsky. 2 torps even. I didn't expect that to happen. See, I thought the Nevsky might have stopped over there, and that's why my torpedoes would land. But no, she actually turned away and then turned back in again. Oh my, oh my. Is that guy gonna reverse or gonna go forward? I'm gonna guess he's gonna go forward. I am on his broadside though, so this should give me a lot of opportunity to land torps. I guess the launch has to be like this far ahead or something. I'm not sure. Maybe even further. She is likely going to turn away though, which is going to complicate it. Are my torps going to miss? Ah, so close. They were so close.
Victory is in sight.
Well, we are winning though, so I guess that's kind of all that matters. Ideally, I'd like this Goliath to be gone. I'm doing a risky maneuver because I started turning towards the Goliath before I knew that the Goliath was turning away. So if the Goliath had turned the other way, this would have probably killed me. But so far, it's alright. Because she is also turning away. I should probably use my heal since there's only 10 minutes left. And the game actually has gone fine because the CV decided to ignore that I exist. Which is completely fine by me. What's the Goliath gonna do? She's obviously not gonna sail as she is right now. She's gonna turn away, that way. Because look, Yamato's there, she's broadside onto the Goliath. You don't sail like that. Especially since she knows she's gonna stay spotted. She'll either turn in or turn away. One of those. Probably not gonna turn in though, because Yamato, right? So I'd have to launch Tarp something like this. But she might also do something silly and not turn away instead. Okay, I'm gonna launch at the Ohio. Even though she is much further away, she isn't actually trying to evade my torpedoes or that Yamato right now. So there might be a much higher chance of actually hitting something. Yeah, never mind. The Goliath did some kind of half-hearted measure where she turned away slightly so that she would get blapped by the Yamato. I don't understand what she was thinking. It was certainly the wrong move though. I didn't get to deal the damage, but somebody else on my team did. I'm also gonna reinforce the middle now, because I think Shimakaza has had quite enough of carrying the team. Probably need to compliment her. Oh, come on! Look, my torpedoes would have hit at least, well, maybe 2. But I would have at least hit one of them. And yet, now, something else got her instead. This is one of the downsides of playing a torpedo destroyer. It takes a long time to get into position. And if you get into position, but it's not quite the right one, then you simply don't deal much damage. But we are winning. The enemy has to, at some point, start taking the middle. Although, considering this is a random battle, that's not guaranteed. Enemies quite often will simply just decide to lose the game instead of actually try to contest it. Okay, there's the daring in the middle of the map, so I'm gonna just speed boost closer. Maybe we'll get lucky and run into the daring. I have a lot of HP. I still have my heal. So hopefully it'll go fine if I spot her. Actually, this is an important question. Do I go straight to the middle? Yeah, I guess I should. Or I could try to cut off the daring somehow. Unlikely, but it's possible. I find it very unlikely that we're gonna lose this game though. Even though as a torpedo destroyer I'm not doing all that much. I'm gonna at least lock the middle cap. I guess one way to lose this game is if our midway decides to throw the game. That's a possibility. Not a great one, but it's a possibility. Oh wow, the Shima got the Yoshino too, damn. That Shima is tarping everyone. You know what, I guess we'll start shelling now. The destroyer is low enough that any kind of damage helps here. So that she doesn't get away with like no HP. Oh wow, never mind. The daring deleted the Shimankaza, so I guess game's over now. The enemy has no chance of even trying to win. What a boring game, to be honest. It seemed so promising at first, but then the enemy decided, hey, you know what? We're not gonna go on that side of the map. It doesn't matter. And they didn't. And it didn't really change much for them or us. It changed my game though, because I didn't get to do much. Maybe we'll land some torpedoes before the game ends on the Thundra. Or maybe the Yamato or Stalingrad. No, actually there is no Yamato anymore. I guess technically this is still a... I mean, if we weren't 700 points ahead, this could be a losable game for the enemy. But obviously, you know, not when the game already ends on points. Because ships-wise, we were kind of even, right? And in a CV game, you can turn the tides. But obviously not if you're already 700 points behind the enemy team. But hey, we at least sunk a Thundra, so there's that. 112k, not the greatest, but it's something. It's I can't call this an average Halland game, at least not in terms of the results. Imagine if you did like, I don't know, half the damage that I did, or maybe 70% of the damage I did this game, and sank like one ship. That would be a more average-ish game for a Halland, I think. Because, quite often, enemies know roughly where you are on the map, and they just leave. And there's nothing you can do. You're a torpedo destroyer, and there's nothing you can do, because they're sailing away. You might have 95 knot torps, you might have 15 kilometer range, it doesn't matter. They're sailing away, which makes it extremely hard to land the torpedoes. On top of that, you also have your teammates who might simply deal the damage to the enemy before you do. And because of that, it can be difficult. I mean, think about it. You only had 2 radar ships this game. The Nevsky and the Des Moines. And I was only inconvenienced by one of them, but even this one ship was enough to hinder my game quite a bit. This game would have gone probably quite differently if the Shimakaze on our team wasn't as great as she was. That's why she deserves the compliment. I suppose the Thunder as well. But overall though, the CV didn't bother me, which is great. But at the same time, the game was still really mediocre. And I guess actually this is a great opportunity to share it. I mean, the results are alright. 112k damage, great. 2 ships sunk, fine. But most of the game ended up with me just sailing empty. I didn't do anything. I got to fight the Montana once and that's it. Everything else was kind of like, whatever, I'm just sailing around and hoping for the best. Also, 32,000 flooding damage. 8 floodings out of 12 torpedoes. This Montana captured like all of the torps on her nose or something. Because the flooding chance on these torpedoes is fairly low. You have to take the nose on the stern or the bow to be able to get floodings this much. So I guess thank you for cooperating, Montana. So yeah, overall I would say Halland is not one of the best. Actually no, Halland is definitely one of the best torpedo destroyers, and probably the best one actually in the game. But this game just showed kind of the weakness of torp destroyers. It's not your ability, you can't dictate the game. You can't tell the enemy, okay, you have to come here and let me torp you. They can simply decide, well, not to do that. Because sometimes, especially in random battles, people don't care about the consequences. In this case, there weren't many consequences for not actually fighting on my side of the map for the enemy. Because all this basically did was prevent them from flanking our team. But they didn't have to come over there. There wasn't like a cap zone that they had to go through me to get to. So in this case, the Shimakaze's position was actually better in the middle. But at the same time, she probably also had to worry a lot more about the CV. So these are my captain skills and upgrades. I go for Liquidator, mostly because the flooding chance on these torps is fairly low. Then obviously Last Stand. Then obviously Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert. Then Adrenaline Rush, then Fill the Tubes, which is faster torp reload, and Swift Fish, of course. This is probably one of the most important skills to take on a torpedo destroyer. I mean, it's 5% torp speed with no downside. And then last 3 points, I went with Superintendent for the extra heal. Okay, upgrades wise, it's basically the same as it always has been. Torpedo reload, concealment, propulsion modification. You could go steering gears, but I don't recommend it. 4.3 seconds is not the greatest, but it's kinda enough. Then torpedo tubes modification 2 for faster torp reload again, or sorry, faster torpedo speed. Second slot engine boost. You could go defensive anti-air, but if you have neither, then engine room protection, and then main arms modification 1. Overall, I think this is an amazing destroyer in this game. One of the best for sure. And she's one of the best for torpedoes as well. It's just that sometimes, well, matches don't work out for torpedo destroyers. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support. And I hope I'll see you guys next time.